Have you read the Arizona law?
I have not had a chance to. I've glanced at it.
Have you had a chance to review the new law that was passed by the state of Arizona?
I have not reviewed it in detail.
The federal government is ultimately the one charged with immigration policy.
Folks, we're going to read the Arizona law tonight. Senate Bill 1070, what does it say? Number one, it's a crime to be in Arizona illegally. Number two, it's a crime to not carry your immigration documents. Arizona citizens can sue the government if the immigration laws are not enforced. It's illegal to hire day laborers, illegal day laborers in Arizona. Police have broad powers to detain where reasonable suspicion exists, reasonable suspicion, and Arizona has to hand over illegals to the federal government. Now, what does the federal law say? The federal law says all aliens shall carry proper identification, that a lawful stop is not required to question people, that reasonable suspicion is not required for questioning, and they make it a misdemeanor to employ illegal aliens. Now, if we put them on the split screen, the Arizona versus the federal law, folks, there's nothing new here. Arizona simply reenacted the federal law, but guess what? There are more safeguards in the Arizona law. So how can the president say the Arizona law was poorly conceived? And what is the hoopla all about? Now, for President Calderon, we're going to look at the Mexican law. Let's look at the way immigrants are treated in the United States versus Mexico. Okay. Not this one. The next one is, okay, federal law. No. Okay, under Mexican law, immigrants must be useful for the country and they must have the necessary funds for their sustenance and for their dependents. That means that Mexico won't let you stay if you can't afford to feed yourself, house yourself, educate yourself, and medicate yourself. Foreigners in Mexico can be barred from the country if they are not physically or mentally healthy. The general law in Mexico on population says that illegal immigration is a felony and that foreigners who are deported from Mexico and try to re-enter without authorization can be imprisoned for 10 years. And get this one, non-citizens cannot in any way participate in the political affairs of the country. Now, let's look at what we do in terms of illegal aliens. We must give them medical treatment, okay, whereas in Mexico they cannot. We must educate illegals through the 12th grade, whereas there is no education for illegals in Mexico. A deportation due process hearing is required in the United States if we want to deport someone, but in Mexico there's no due process, simply get them out. In the United States, it's a misdemeanor to be illegal, and in Mexico, it is a felony. The bottom line, and by the way, education, which I think I already mentioned, education, welfare, food, medication, we all provide this to illegal aliens, whereas in Mexico, if you can't afford to feed yourself, your family, you're deported. Still with me?